Secretary Kumar, do you have an idea where the group can start immediately?
There are many possible areas. Most of our discussion has focused on the guiding principles to be the basis for this group. And I think we have had pretty much useful discussion and a consensus on how we should start. For example, should it be proactive or reactive to any particular situation? I think it has to be a combination of both. The reality is, in a problem situation or dispute situation, it's unlikely that we can sit idly by and somebody will come knocking on the door. More realistically, behind the scenes efforts have to be made to say that here is a collection of individuals with experience, and we can offer our good offices. Whether it's taken up or not, we do not know. But if the response is positive, Surakia can consult who would be the appropriate individual or collection of individuals for a particular situation. So we've been discussed the modalities and ways in which we can work. I personally think that we should be not an exclusive group, we should be inclusive, because there can be a particular situation where we may find that some other individual outside our group may be best suited for this particular role, and we should be prepared to invite him to join our group on an ad hoc basis, to join hands with us to deal with a particular request for good officers. I think also there's considerable agreement that the hallmark of our success depends on quiet diplomacy, because many of the issues are sensitive and have to be handled without the glare of publicity during the initial phase.
So
although
the last time you're talking with us.
Last time, no more. It's going to be quiet diplomacy.
Quiet diplomacy. That doesn't mean we should not make our existence and
doesn't mean silence.
Right. So we have, those are some principles on which we have agreed to work.
So Gozabara, looking from Europe, Asia is full of opportunities and also challenges and also conflicts. Do you see this group playing a role that really can serve the purpose of peace and reconciliation?
Well, I think we have conflicts and tensions at a different level. So you have armed civil war, for instance, in Syria. You have tensions in other parts. You have countries that might like to go through the transformation of their political system. So there are different areas of tensions and conflicts. I think that in the first instance we will not be able to solve armed conflicts because then a conflict is already too much heated up. But as long as it concerns the avoidance of stronger conflict, as it concerns the transition of political systems in the direction of democracy and plurality, as it concerns to moderate conflicts that are not yet armed, I think people that are gathered in that group can offer a certain expertise from their political background, from their background also in academics and in business. And I think what makes this group unique is it's maybe a group that is not as committed to one side as very often NGOs are. It's not as visionary and idealistic as university academics might be when looking to a conflict. And this group is not limited by the constraints of governmental responsibility. But all of the people here have their experiences in the different sectors. And therefore we try to take the best out of the three worlds in order to create something new. And I think that could be of good service to the development in Asia, which in general I think is a very positive development, especially in economic terms. And if one can add to it greater political stability, which means avoiding some of the maybe ardent conflicts, I think there could be quite a positive future.
Professor,
Although,
yes.
The critics, the cynical, could say, but you were all presidents, prime minister before.
Yeah.
How come you didn't solve the problems before?
Then, at that time.
But we can answer to that is as well. Some, contributed to solving.
Didn't have enough time, right? The term wasn't long enough in office.
Not long enough in office.
Yeah. Professor Kennedy, I see Syria, I see North Korea, I see South China Seas, I see East China Sea, the conflicts, in Asia. You see any of these issues being on the agenda of this group?
I see the agenda of the group. We'll have to wait and see how the group performs.
Yeah.
But two things struck me today in the conversation. One is the extent to which everyone in the group had already started to work on conflicts.
Yeah.
So people who have government experience, and we who are outside government sometimes don't realize that, how much of government is problem solving, conflict solving, bringing people together. So there wasn't one person in the room who didn't say, well, when I was here working on this conflict and when I had to bring these people together who disliked each other intensely, this is how I did it.
Yeah.
And I thought with that kind of experience, there are all kinds of conflicts that these individuals could play a role in if they were liberated from their responsibilities to represent a particular government and could participate as a global citizen, as my colleague just pointed out. So that impressed me. And I think the other thing that impressed me was the enthusiasm. So these are people who have accomplished a great deal in their life. And they could be enjoying those accomplishments retrospectively. But everyone in the room had the feeling, I'm willing to jump into this, maybe a little hesitating at the beginning, but I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in now with 2 feet because I see I can trust my colleagues.
Yes.
And I know that as a group, whatever efforts I'm going to be making in the direction of peace will be multiplied by the colleagueship, the mutual experience, and the platform provided by the group. Those are. Now let's put that in the context of Asia. And you said,
Yes.
how does it look from the United States with all these conflicts everywhere? There's no question that this is a moment of incredible geopolitical transformation and economic growth, in which conflicts that may have been dormant or stuck within one particular place have the possibility of erupting now as changes in inequalities of wealth, imbalances in political power shift. Those are the places where you get fault lines. And we all understand the frustrations with government and multilateral efforts to address not only the conflicts that you mentioned, but 15 more that we could list.
Yes.
So governments, for all the experience in them, and non-governmental organizations for all the reputation that the UN has had over its long career in conflict solving, are simply not up to the challenge alone. And this is a moment in which we find private initiatives taking over processes of political change, development, engagement in a variety of areas. It's not just government folks, it's also the private sector. It also means involving business. There's a financial element, or there's an economic interest under many of these conflicts. There's stakeholders who are not just government stakeholders, but citizens groups, often ethnic groups, religious groups. They need to be brought to the table. And it very often takes the actions of quiet, discreet individuals behind the scenes to bring those people together. That's what I'm very hopeful about.